Today I'm taking a look at a fragrance that's literally been all over my social media lately, and I can't seem to be able to open Facebook, TikTok or Instagram without seeing tons of ads for it. These ads all make huge claims of how it can boost your sex appeal, make you feel more confident, and make you irresistible to the opposite sex, and so on. So eventually I caved into my curiosity and I picked up a bottle just to see what kind of sorcery had gone into this magic potion and whether it really could turn a middle-aged man like me into a sex god with just a couple of sprays. This is a pheromone fragrance from a brand called Liquid London, who have created 3 different scents. This one is for men, but they also do one for ladies and one that's marketed as being for everybody. Pheromone fragrances have gained a lot of popularity in recent years, and they include synthetic compounds which are said to mimic and work with the body's natural pheromones and skin chemistry. They release chemical signals that communicate with others of the same species and potentially influence human behaviour and emotions. It's a bit like in the animal kingdom where pheromones play a huge part in like mating rituals, territory marking and social hierarchy, etc. But it's all way too scientific for my little pea brain to fully understand, and I've got to say that I've been hugely sceptical about the effectiveness of these pheromone fragrances in the past. And in my opinion, if you're unattractive, you dress poorly, and you have a bad personality, then no fragrance is going to make you successful in the dating world. But having said that, I do believe that if you have all of those other things in order, then a good scent can really be the icing on the cake, and there's no easier way to break the ice with someone that you're attracted to than telling them that they smell nice. Anyway, these come in a 50ml bottle size. They're a parfum concentration and priced at £39 a bottle, but first time purchasers get a 10% discount, so I paid around about £35 for this one. And I just want to quickly point out that I have absolutely no affiliation with this brand whatsoever, and Liquid London have no idea that I'm talking about this product today. Okay, so as always, we're going to start off with a quick presentation, and the box comes in a colourful metallic design with like an oil-like pattern on the front, and it's got a slightly ribbed textured feel to it. We've got the Liquid London name on the front, and also there's a couple of logos around on each side, and also one on top of the box. The back is just the same, it's just got some product information, and at the bottom is a barcode, but I can't find an actual batch code on the box itself. But on the front there's a little V1 marking, which obviously means that this is a version 1. You also get a little sticker and also like a little postcard inside the package when it arrives. And to be honest, it feels all pretty decent, and it gives a nice first impression. The bottle is okay, but it definitely has a simple, no frills feel about it in this clear square design. But it does have a slight curve to it, so it does feel quite comfortable to hold. The label again has a textured finish, and there's also another little spot metallic logo on it too. There's a slide-on plastic cap that fits snugly around the chrome atomizer, which has a really nice, decent sprayer. And even though it's a minimalistic design, it doesn't feel cheap in any way or low quality. And I think it feels it's fine for the price that you pay for it. Okay, so into the note breakdown, and the top notes in this are mint, bergamot and black pepper. In the heart, we've got sandalwood and rose, and the base note in this is ISO E Super. Okay, so for the first time ever, I'm going to work back from the base in this one, because the magic ingredient in this fragrance is the ISO E Super, which is a man-made synthetic aroma chemical. And if you've had any experience with Molecule 1 by Eccentric Molecules, you'll already know that it produces a scent that everyone around you can smell, but the wearer will only be able to pick up on maybe a muted, woody, ambery accord, if anything. I do have a bottle of ISO E Super as a standalone aroma chemical, and I can give myself 20 sprays of this, and like I say, all I get is a faint, warm, woody smell. But if I leave the room and then come back into it like 10 minutes later, the room smells absolutely amazing with a thick, rich, warm woodiness that smells masculine and powerful. But on myself, there's hardly anything there. I did actually do a video a while ago explaining how applying a base layer of ISO E Super and then layering it with any other fragrance over the top of it can really help the projection and the longevity of almost any scent, especially if you've got a fragrance that fades away quite quickly. So I'll leave a link to that video down in the description if you also want to go and check that one out. However, this is not just about the base layer, and it opens up very bright and fresh, and you will get plenty of mint and bergamot from the initial spray, which is really cool and effervescent, but it's also a bit sharp and metallic smelling also. This initial minty freshness seems to fade fairly quickly though, and after maybe 10 minutes or so, I don't seem to pick up on anything else for a little while, and I do lose connection with it. Then after maybe 20 minutes in, I begin to pick up on some of the soft milky sandalwood and the semi-sweet delicate rose note as it transitions through into the heart, which I've got to say does smell extremely nice. But you kind of get an experience that I've just spoken about, where it seems to be a little bit muted, and by this point you could easily dismiss this as being a pretty weak and a poor performing scent. I remember the first time I wore it, I was all set to write it off and I wasn't even going to waste my time reviewing it until my partner came home from work that day. And as soon as she walked through the door, she asked me what I'd sprayed and said that the house smelled absolutely amazing. She never usually reacts like that, and very rarely comments on what I'm wearing, but this time she seemed blown away by it. I told her that I could hardly smell anything on myself, and she was like, "Are you joking? The whole house smells of it, and it's really, really strong, but it's really nice too." She even ended up ordering a bottle of the woman's one for herself later that evening. Yeah, so what I did then was I usually play snooker with a good friend of mine once a week, and I sprayed it on him a couple of nights ago, and wow, it was a totally different experience smelling it coming off someone else. And it was projecting like a beast all night, giving off masculine, warm, woody vibes, but also with a softer, velvety rose in there too, that by the way didn't smell like a nasty artificial rose like you can sometimes get in other perfumes. And it was more of a dusty, powdery rose that was really fragrant and enjoyable. The minty freshness also seemed to stick around much, much longer than it did when I was wearing it, and it remained quite bright and peppery throughout. The overall aroma smelled clean, soapy and mass appealing, but like I say, with that masculine woody foundation. It wasn't a generic smell either, considering the fairly basic note breakdown, and it didn't remind me of anything else that I'd smelled before, so it did have quite an interesting and unique scent character. Yeah, this is a very versatile scent that could be worn all year round, although it's probably perfect for the spring and autumn seasons, worn casually throughout the day. I don't particularly get any night out or clubbing vibes from it, although it's got enough depth and character if you did want to wear it as a night out scent. And after all, the whole purpose of it is to attract attention from the opposite sex. But for me, this is more of a daily driver that'd work well as a work or an office scent, because it's a fairly bright, easygoing scent profile, and it's not going to get on anyone's nerves if you go a little bit heavier on the sprays. It's suitable for guys of any age, and it's a pretty safe blind buy overall. Yeah, so from now on, I'm definitely going to have to be extremely careful when I comment on the performance of some fragrances, because as the wearer of this, you have no idea what the people around you are actually experiencing. It's a really decent performer with a room-filling projection for at least 4 to 5 hours, but you'd easily believe that it wasn't very good when you spray it on yourself. You may be someone who wears fragrances for yourself and not other people, and if that's the case, then this might leave you a little bit underwhelmed. But if compliments and attention from other people is what you enjoy, then this is definitely one to consider. Yeah, so unfortunately, I haven't had any women fall at my feet or throw their knickers at me in the street yet whilst I've been wearing this, and I very much doubt I ever will. But what I will say is, whether or not you believe the hype and marketing BS around pheromone fragrances and their claimed benefits, this is actually a really decent smelling scent in the air, and it does have an expensive niche fragrance quality about it that I'm in no doubt will definitely bring in tons of compliments. It's reasonably priced, it's packaged really well, and it performs well for others to smell around you. The only issue is that I selfishly like to also catch strong wafts of a scent that I'm wearing, and that doesn't really happen with this one. You will get nice surprising wafts if you leave a room and then walk back into it, but smelling it directly on your skin is kind of like standing outside a bar and hearing the muted music coming from inside. It just doesn't quite satisfy you, and you just want to get inside to experience everything a bit more clearly. But I'd definitely recommend picking up a sample bottle and trying out for yourself, because it is a big compliment magnet. Okay, so once again, that's about it for this latest episode. But coming up very soon, hopefully in the next few days in fact, I'm really excited to announce that I'm going to be bringing you a world exclusive. I reviewed a fragrance a while back and I really enjoyed it and I gave it a decent review. But little did I know that the owners of the brand were going to contact me a few months later and offer me the chance to be the first reviewer worldwide to be able to try it out and give my own personal thoughts on it 6 weeks before its release date. And trust me, the fragrance is going to be iconic. So definitely subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss that one, and also other future fragrance content. So once again, guys, thank you very much for tuning into this latest episode today. Stay safe, keep smelling fresh, and I'll see you very soon from a little world exclusive. Bye-bye for now.